and welcome to another Learning Photoshop tutorial. In this one I'd like to try and show you how I'd make like a faux bokeh effect, something like this, to give you them little sparkly bokeh effects in the background. You can do it from any image, and my start image was this, so that's the one that we're going to use. Now the first thing we need to do, I'm going to duplicate that so I'm not working on the background layer. So I'm going to use Ctrl and J to duplicate that layer. And then I'm going to blur the heck out of it. So I'm going to go to Filter and to Blur and to Gaussian Blur. And we'll really blur the heck out of this. We just want the blurriness to be all we see. So something like that I think would work fine. And then if you want, we can change the colour of it. So let's go to Image Adjustments and we'll try Colour Balance. And we'll just move the sliders around. Maybe add a bit of blue. No, let's go a bit of yellow, bit of, no, magenta, yeah, a bit of magenta. Let's add something to the highlights. You can see where I'm going. You can actually change the colour quite dramatically. We'll click OK to that, and then for this let's see if we can darken it a little bit. So again we'll go to Image and Adjustments, but we'll use a Curves adjustment layer for this. And what we'll do, we'll try and darken it and add a little bit of contrast. So we'll darken this down here. Oops, darken it down. And we'll lighten it a little bit, give it a bit of contrast. Something like that. Yeah, a bit darker. Yeah, I think I'll live with that. That looks fine. Now we need to make a bokeh brush. So I'm going to open my brushes panel. And we're going to go through and change some of these options. So I'm going to start by double clicking on the top, which is brush shape, to make sure it brings up the brush shape options. And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that my brushes will start with it around 125 pixels. And the hardness I'm going to make around, let's say about 80%, just so I've got a soft edge to the brush. And you can see the preview down here. You can see I've got a little soft edge to each of these circles, which is going to look quite bokeh-y, I think. That's all in there. Let's go down to Shape Dynamics. I'm going to double click on Shape Dynamics. We'll put the size jitter in at 50%. And we'll leave everything else the same. You can see what that's doing. The jitter just means random. So all it's doing is it's randomizing the size of these bokeh particles. And then we'll go on to Scattering. And I want the tick in both axes. And I want my scatter to about 1000%. We'll leave the count set to 1, and we'll have a count jitter of 100%. Everything else being left the same. And then when we've done this, we can save this out as a new brush if we like. So I'll just go down to the bottom here, click, and we can call it, let's say, Bokeh. And then click OK. So I've now saved myself a new brush called the Bokeh Brush. So I'll just close that down. So now if you go to your brushes panel, you can see the last brush that you've created is 125 pixel Bokeh Brush. And that's the one that we're going to use. We'll do this on different layers. So I'll click the new layer icon to make a new layer. And make sure white is my foreground colour. I've got my brush tool selected, and now I'm just going to click and drag in short bursts just to lay down a few of these circles. So click and drag until I'm happy. I'll put some down at this corner, that's not bad. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the opacity of that layer to maybe, I don't know, 30-35%. I'll change the blend mode to overlay so I can see some of the colour coming through them. And then I'm going to blur that layer So I'm going to go to Filter and Blur and Gaussian Blur. And that's a bit too much because that's what we used earlier, but I just want to give a hint of these in the background. So I will say somewhere around 12-13 pixels and click OK. And that's a good start. Let's make some more, but I'll make them on a new layer. So I'll click the new layer icon to give us a brand new layer. This time I'll change the size of the brush a little bit. I'll just put it up a couple of clicks with the square bracket key, and then I'll click and drag again and get some bigger ones. Same thing again, I can drop the opacity. I can change the blend mode to overlay, and then I'll blur them. Filter and Blur and Gaussian Blur. And on this one, probably not quite as much blur as the last one, but nearly, because we can see them overlapping nicely. And click OK. And then let's go for it. You can make as many of these layers as you like. I'll just go for 3. I'll click on this one to make a new layer. Make the brush a little bit bigger, say, and just put some bigger ones. Yeah, that'll do. Again, same thing, reduce the opacity, change the blend mode to overlay, and then blur it. Filter and Blur and Gaussian Blur. And again, I'll just drop the opacity of these, and something like maybe a bit more. Let's blur these a little bit more. Yeah, I like that better. And I'll click OK. And there we have it, how to make a bokeh effect with a bokeh brush. That's it for now. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, share it with a friend or subscribe to my YouTube channel so when I next upload a video, you were the first to know. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.